Welcome to the Blackest Sheep, your sanctuary for horror and the macabre. I am your devoted host, a scholar of horror and a devoted chaser of shadows. As a passionate aficionado, my fascination with the dark side of history has led me down twisted paths, dark alleys, and even into forgotten crypts to bring you the blood-curdling tales you crave. Armed with my fascination for creepy history and an unquenchable thirst for the supernatural, as the torchbearer in this eerie journey, I guide you through the labyrinth of the past, wherein each dimly lit corner hides a tale more horrifying, more skin-crawling than the last. My purpose is to serve a feast of the macabre, the uncanny, and the downright terrifying. Do you feel your heart beat faster at the mere thought of things that go bump in the night? Then you've indeed come to the right place. As I plunge into the fathomless depths of history, pulling back the heavy curtain on the darkest secrets that have been gathering dust in the corners of forgotten tales, you can expect in-depth explorations of bone-chilling historical events and details of sinister historical acts. I unearth the gruesome, the shocking, and the downright bizarre instances that have been buried, masked by the sands of time. My stories will have your heart pulsating in your chest as you navigate through the twisted tales. I leave no stone unturned in my quest to bring you the most hair-raising stories, digging deep into the sinister past, shedding light on the whispered tales of horror that have been handed down generations, untouched, unheard, and unexplored. In the world of the Blackest Sheep, the past is never truly dead. It only waits to be awakened. It lurks in the shadows, hungry to reveal its terrifying truths. So, are you ready to step into the abyss with me, your horror guide, armed with curiosity and bravery, ready to confront the terrors of history that await us? Have you ever wondered how dark and gruesome our history can be? It's a question that often gnaws at my mind as I journey through the intricate tapestry of our past, trying to fathom the depths of human nature. This voyage takes me deep into the annals of our history, where I prepare to unveil some truly eerie facts that lurk in the shadows. Today, I will feed your curiosity with detailed accounts of a time long forgotten, a time where human life bore little resemblance to what it is today. You see, the past is not just a collection of tales. It's a museum of human actions, emotions, and, often, inhumanity. To start, I will take you back to the grisly practices of yore, where primitive surgeries were carried out with rudimentary tools. Imagine having an operation without anesthesia, where pain was your constant companion. Procedures such as trepanation, where holes drilled into the skull to treat various ailments, or the application of hot irons to seal wounds and prevent infection. The thought itself is enough to make you wince. Then we'll delve into the sinister secrets of ancient royalty, where power struggles, merciless killings, and unspeakable atrocities were an everyday affair. From the infamous Cleopatra, who allegedly poisoned her siblings to secure her throne, to the courts of medieval Europe, where land disputes led to brutal wars, or the ruthless rulers of Asia, who built massive empires on the blood of their enemies. These stories carry the echo of human ambition and the cost it often came at. The chilling truths that expose the macabre side of history are not mere concoctions. They are narratives of power, pain, survival, and sacrifice that have shaped our world and continue to influence it even today. They reveal not just the dark side of human history, but also the resilience and determination of those who survived against all odds. So pull up your courage and get ready for a gripping journey down the chilling corridors of the past. Imagine feeling unwell and instead of receiving a capsule, you're handed a brew made of ground insects and sweet honey. Can you visualize this spine-chilling concept? This might seem like a frightful tale ripped straight from a horror author's darkest dreams, but in reality, this startling portrayal gives us a tiny peek into the grotesque yet fascinating world of prehistoric medicine. During an era when our comprehension of the complex human body was still shrouded by a baffling of superstition and enigma, people eager for relief from varied disorders would often resort to the most outlandish and occasionally even horrifying techniques. Have you ever heard of leech therapy, for instance? These slimy, wriggling, blood-seeking creatures were once viewed as the ultimate cure-all for a plethora of afflictions. They were believed to provide for everything from the most basic migraines to severe mental disorders like hysteria. This faith in leeches, which I now find perplexing and even nauseating, was a widespread practice in those bygone times. Then there's something that I found even more unsettling: trepanation, a stomach-churning surgical procedure that entailed meticulously drilling a hole into the innocent patient's skull. This dread-inducing practice was based on the belief that it would drive out the so-called evil spirits supposedly responsible for the sickness. The mere thought of such a process is enough to make my insides churn. But among all the ancient medical practices I discovered, perhaps the most eerie was the application of mummy dust. This remarkable substance was pulverized from genuine Egyptian mummies and ingested as a panacea. This was done with the belief that the spiritual essence of the mummy would remedy various diseases and illnesses. Another surprising example is the use of crocodile dung in ancient Egyptian times. It was used as a form of contraceptive, a shocking thought to our modern sensibilities. Lastly, consider the Romans' use of gladiator blood to cure epilepsy. They believed that the bravery of gladiators could be transferred through their blood, which was collected and sold as medicine. These examples certainly emphasize the lengths to which our ancestors were willing to go in their quest for healing. The next time I find myself in a doctor's waiting room, I'll remember to be profoundly grateful that my prescription does not consist of a dose of crushed bugs or any other such unusual remedies. While royalty is often cloaked in a mirage of opulence and glamour, it also harbors an unsettling underbelly. One such aspect is the historically prevalent practice of inbreeding within royal families, aimed to preserve their blue blood. The European Habsburg dynasty is a prime example of this disquieting practice. Several generations of intermarriage within this family led to a peculiar deformity known as the Habsburg jaw, characterized by a protruding lower jaw and a thick upper lip. King Charles II of Spain, a member of this dynasty, suffered from numerous health issues as an outcome of this inbreeding. Alongside such disturbing practices, the annals of royal history also carry tales of monarchs known for their reigns of terror. England's Queen Mary I, infamously known as Bloody Mary, offers a chilling example. She was relentless in her quest to restore Catholicism in England, going so far as to execute hundreds of Protestants who stood in her way. Each execution further cemented her terrifying legacy and her moniker, Bloody Mary. The eccentricities of royalty further highlight the bizarre elements of royal life. Emperor Nero of Rome, for instance, was reported to roam the streets at midnight riding a chariot while disguised as a slave. This odd fascination punctuated the peculiarities of royal behavior. Equally intriguing is the case of King Charles VI of France. He lived with the delusion that he was made of glass and would shatter if he came into contact with other objects. This glass delusion is considered one of the most bizarre instances of psychological disorders in history. Such unnerving facts are not isolated instances, but rather integral threads woven into the royal narrative. They serve as a poignant reminder that unchecked power, while often shrouded in glamour, and can also foster a troubling and at times horrifying legacy. Wars, a recurring theme in human history, have consistently concealed a sinister underbelly beneath the surface of valor and honor. The full extent of their horrors often remains hidden from the public eye. A stark example of this is the use of biological warfare, a tactic employed since the ancient epochs. History is rife with incidents of such warfare. In the siege of Kaffa in the 14th century, invading Mongol forces resorted to catapulting plague-infected corpses over the city walls, turning the city's populace into helpless victims of the Black Death. This ingenious yet horrific tactic effectively turned nature into a weapon of mass destruction. Thus, war, despite its glorification in history and literature, retains its grotesque underbelly. From horrifying healthcare practices to haunting tales of monarchs, merciless realities of war to the silent, forgotten victims, our journey is a spine-chilling exploration of humanity's darkest hours. until we delve again into the dark corners of the past. That's what I do here at The Blackest Sheep, your home for horror. I don't just narrate scary stories. I help you delve into them, confront them, and through understanding, possibly this world a tad less terrifying. Thanks for watching The Blackest Sheep, Oddities of History. If you found this video intriguing, please like, subscribe, and stay vigilant for more spine-chilling content.